Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Today I am joined by my very close friend, Matt Ravida. I have the privilege of calling him a friend, also a fitness coach right now in my life. I've known Matt for a very long time, so it's always an easy conversation. We talked a lot about mental health, what's been going on the last couple of years, mindsets, talked about new changes in his life, having a baby. Yeah, it's always good to catch up with Matt, and this episode is a little bit different than the other ones, and this is my conversation with Matthew Ravida. Obviously, Matt Ravida, massive dude in my life. I would consider you a role model and a really close friend. I'm thankful to have you in my life as long as I have. Met you through Dan Pellicini way back when, who's also going to come on at some point. And I just wanted to kind of talk. So for those who don't know, Matt Ravida, myself, other Matt, and Dan, Matt Squared, used to do the Rambler Project. So it was more mental health based. It was more thoughtful conversations about loss, about honestly just everything that's happening in life. And you and Dan started that, and then got me involved with the video production part. And then I had the opportunity to actually speak, tell my story, and then kind of snowballed from there. And
which you were actually shy to do at first.
Yeah, it's true. It's crazy, right?
But the reason, not shy. This is like when you were also a bit younger, because I have to context. Like
I think I was 20 or 21. Yeah,
you're a few years younger than us.
Yeah.
And you didn't think that your story lived up to other people's traumatic stories.
Yeah.
And then you started talking, and I'm just like, I think you actually may have had it worse than us.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, again, it goes back to the psyche of each individual, how like they feel that things, that the traumatic experiences that they've been through, or just life in general they've been through, doesn't compare to other people, whether it's the negatives or the positives, right? And then like here you are now on the other side. Now you're doing your own thing.
I know, it's pretty crazy, and it's like, it is really cool to look back and listen to those episodes. Like I still, every couple of years, maybe I'll listen to one or two, and it's interesting. I'm just like glad that I actually did that, and I like got through the fear and just like did it. But
I think part of it too set you up for this.
For sure, yeah.
Because I feel like you, Dan, because again, we both started the podcast. He started. I always want to make sure that's clear for others. Like he started Rambler himself through the doodling and doing all that stuff, some of the merch. But the podcast, like both of us being from Dundas, being two men, feeling like men that have a voice in the mental health space. So that's kind of why we want to do that together. And then he kind of like literally gave you free reign. I think it also helped you creatively too, to kind of see what you did like, what you didn't like, what worked, what may have didn't work, and things like that. And then probably just kickstart that creative gene within you, and then you're just like, shit, I want more out of my life than serving. That's what you're doing a lot of the time, and things like that. You're just finishing school, like, okay, I want more out of this. You took a leap of faith, and here you are.
100%, man. It's crazy. And also too, just like, I think using all the building blocks that I had before, right? Like having to really figure out how to, shoot and edit on my own and make sure everything's dialed, and just like learning every time me and Dan would shoot together, I would learn something, and then I would, the more I would shoot with Troy, I would learn, and all these other things. And you can see the building blocks, but it's funny because like a lot of people don't know me that far back. So like they just see kind of what's happening with Deadline now, and are like, oh, this is like, you've just been this dude. It's like, no, it's been a uphill, a slow progression for a long time. Coming back to the Rambler, like, things get busy, lives get busy, and I want Dan to come on and you to come on, maybe in a Rambler setting. Like, I think we could use the space. I think it would work. But since then I've been always trying to figure out like, what do I want to do as far as speaking? Because I really miss that conversation style of the Rambler, and like just the hearing other people's stories. And that's what I've been finding really rewarding about doing this. So we can talk a little bit about your story, Matt. I obviously know your story. But for anybody who doesn't know, take me back to, living in Dundas, and go into much detail as you want. And we can talk about kind of where you are now afterwards. Because I know, like, for you, you've talked about it so publicly so many times, and, you can give as much detail as you want. We can go wherever you want from here. Because I know, like, you've literally put it out 1,000 times.
No, it's just, like, usually whenever I go on to something, there's always like a reason behind it. So when I do a lot of the kids' helpful things, as I've been a national ambassador for them for the last like 7 years, it's always specific to one thing. You have like a 30-second click, or like whatever time frame that you have to get like the clicks and get the views and make sure you're going right to the point, and it's like the camera's right in your face. So it's kind of like you're always preparing that statement, that 30-second little thing. And then trying to like go back is like,
there's so much that's happened in the last even year
like
for you
PTSD
too.
is like the wrong terminology to use, but because last year itself has been absolutely crazy in terms of tragedy and loss, that trying to go back even like, you know, what is it now, 2015, my brother died in 2008, so like 17 years ago. And I guess that's where I can take the conversation from there, is like that, yeah, 14 years old, and my family and myself were getting ready to go on vacation. I believe it was Ottawa or Quebec. I actually fight with my dad that all the time because he says it was Ottawa. I thought it was Quebec, but again, that's just who we are. Two Italian hotheads can trying to always be right. And go in to try and wake my brother up and see how he's doing and things like that, and nothing's there. Just a blank body, unfortunately, just there. And then try to call the ambulance and things like that, and then end up just finding out that he passed away the night prior. And that was kind of just like a weird situation for me, and trying to figure out how to navigate high school, and because I was just about getting into ninth grade and things like that, was crazy exactly. for
That's
me.
Like
and then
right when you're starting,
right when I was starting high school, right, kind of blossoming into a young male and things like that, and trying to find things and who you are at such a young age, where it's kind of like just coming to a halt. And like there's so much to go into that, and like I don't want to keep boring people in the situation and like going through that story, but it's like that was unfortunately the domino effect, and there's so much more loss and tragedy in my life, and not to like trauma dump and to make things like, oh, it's about me and things like that. But it's like after my brother passed away, I lost one friend to a car accident. I had another friend of mine, she unfortunately took her own life due to a sexual assault that happened to her, and that kind of like really like just made me not believe in good things for people. And just, you know, I think I shared like recently that Joe Rogan clip where it's like when you have horrible people in your life, or you see horrible people in your life, you think that all humans are like that. And it takes a good person to really understand that, okay, like there actually still is good people in this world. And it's a cliche platitude that we've all heard before, but being so young and so impressionable, I wasn't really sure where life was going to go after that,
100%,
after having so much loss.
And
then I could see how it tormented my family, it ruined my family per se. Like my mom never really recovered from that, and that's like another unfortunate thing of life, is like my mom 2 years ago almost now passed away from cancer, but I always use the expression that like her mental illness and mental health was always what was killing her. Like she never recovered from my brother's death, her own trauma as a child. And that's where like that hard times of life, where if you're not able to try and get a hold of it or get in front of it or deal with it, like linger on for years and years and years like it did for my mom, and it eventually will affect you in such a negative way that you feel like there's no way out of it. It's just a black hole.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And when I met you, Matt, you like were, you know, doing a lot of speaking engagements about what's going on in the background. And, you know, you openly talked about, you know, just like the trials and tribulations with growing up, university, partying, drinking. Now you're sober at that time, I think, when I met you. Not that like you like sober, I mean like you're choosing sobriety.
See, that gets a negative.
I know it's a
thing, right? When I tell people I don't drink, they think, oh, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, you had a hardcore problem.
Exactly. And like I had a issue in terms of like running to alcohol if my brother died and things like that, as like a way, as a coping mechanism, defense mechanism towards like what I was, not defense mechanism, but coping mechanism, what I was going through. But yeah, that comes down to so many things. We'll probably dive into those subjects again, but it's like when you say you don't drink. Yeah. Again, back to that, I keep saying that human psyche, that we automatically, oh, were you an alcoholic?
Yeah, there must have been something.
There must have been something. It's like,
rather than like choosing it, and we've talked about this a lot too, is like choosing it just for the betterment of your life, right? Yeah. Like you just want to be more clear, especially because you're on fitness right now, right? Like all those extra calories, the you know, not feeling the best when you're waking up, and
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of nuances to that where like you can dive deeper. It was like a lot of people drink because they also are not comfortable within their own skin when they're in a public setting or in a social setting, especially. Yeah. Me, I don't really care. You know, like I'm going to be my fun, jolly self, charismatic self, regardless if I'm drinking or not. Excuse me. It was just the first thing that actually started it was like, I just hate spending money. Alcohol's freaking expensive when I was in college. And I was like, I feel like I'm either going to drink to have fun and go out and have a great time, or I don't drink at all. Like I'm not one that enjoys the taste of alcohol. Yeah. I've talked about this with you and Dan on that one podcast where it's like, I don't enjoy the taste of it. And this is an important one for me, is I have never seen like alcohol as a stress reliever. You know, the expression
never associated with it.
When you're at work, or that one coworker's like, I can't wait to have an ice cold beer and
it's Friday today. You know what I mean? Friday.
Exactly.
5 o'clock. Let's go to the bar.
Me. I was like, just get me a water, get me an iced coffee, get me a drink. If I want something cold, give me like water, stuff like that. If I want something cold.
Yeah.
Like I never associated stress reliever with alcohol, right? It was more like, quote unquote, I say that abuse. It was like, because I was young, I just didn't know any better what alcohol could do to you.
Exactly.
After my brother in a very situational, right? And then I just stopped drinking because I just could still be myself. Like I just felt like it was social pressures to drink and things like that. And it's the most social, they keep saying social, but it's the most socially acceptable drug.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You look at alcohol differently than you look at weed or any other type of substance and things like that, right? Where it's like because prohibition was freaking like the 20s or 30s, whatever. So it's like, it's been around since our parents were born, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a normal day of life to drink alcohol, things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look back at the history and stuff too. But yeah, like anybody who knows Matt knows that. But I think that speaks to like more the fact that you're so rooted in who you are and what you want out of life because of what has happened to you. And I think that's something I've admired in you, is you've always been very mission driven forward. You know, there's the episode that's coming out next Friday. I shouldn't say that. The episode that's coming out
in the future,
because this will come out like a month and a half from now. So Mike talked about it as the falling hook. So he talked about this idea where he was young and he was working in Alberta, and this hook from this helicopter fell and almost killed him. And that was his like defining moment, right? For me, it was losing my friend. For you, it's your brother. There were so many moments. And how do you think that moment, like, you can look back now, hindsight 2020, right? Of course. But how do you think that really changed the directory of how you want to experience life? Because who knows, like if that didn't happen to you, you know, like maybe something else would have happened. Maybe you would have, you know, not been so mission driven, mission forward, and fallen into something. And, you know, like that's the so interesting part of life, is like there's so many paths, you know, like, and it who knows? And I think about that in my life too. Like I think about if I spent a little bit more time with one or two people, who knows? I could have fully not been here. I could have been in jail. I could have been addicted to drugs. Like anything can happen. It's totally insane.
Yeah. I guess to answer the first bit of your question there of like what has happened in my life has allowed me to kind of have the mindset and things like that, especially what you said about hindsight 2020, because man, I'm sitting here. Of course, I would love to have my brother alive here, seeing me get married, seeing me now being a father in a few months, things like that. And I say this with a grain of salt because I grew up in a good way, good morals, good values, and things like that. And that's just kind of the way that I was brought up. But I still would have been a good person, I guess. Before I get to my other point, is that but I really truly believe that if what happened to me, my brother passing away and me trying to take my own life didn't occur, I don't think I'd have the same outlook on life and appreciation and gratitude for life. Like my brother was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of what changed my outlook on life, but me surviving a suicide attempt is the actual driving force on what really changed my life. Because when I was in that psych ward, being 14 years old, at that time, the youngest person ever who was at St. Joe's in Hamilton, like mental health psychiatric ward at that time, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah,
you were just about to end your life. Sure, it was shitty what happened to my family and my brother, but I was about to end my life for what reason? Like, I didn't even give myself a chance to actually see how my life would look without having my brother. I was just like, nope, that's it. 3 months later, like, I'm going to take my own life. And that's just it. I said to Facebook, basically, peace out, and that's it. And then if that happened, like, the amount of things that I've done in life will never occur, the amount of lives that I feel that I have affected from people telling me that, not just kind of just saying that for the hell of saying that. Like, I know people have actually said that to me and things like that. And I cut that short based off of what? Because I was
emotions,
very situational depression, and like because of what was going on in my life at that time, that's what I felt was the only option. But it was like I never really felt like I had the opportunity to even like see what life was going to be like without him, because you're just so wrapped up in that moment, right? And that's where I think now I've changed my outlook on life, and it's allowed me, I use this shitty expression of like I've had a trial run at death. So it's like when these situations happen again, and these losses mount up over the years as you get older, it's kind of naturally how life goes. You lose grandparents, things like that, and that's just allowed me to sit back and be like, damn, like that's tough, but it's like you've done so many tough things in your life, physically and mentally, that you've overcome and persevered, that you can do this, you can get through this, right? It's just being able to actually put yourself in a situation. When I was younger, I wish I could have done that based on what I've seen today. But again, like you said, hindsight 2020, it's like I'm never going to be able to look through the lens of a 14-year-old as I am today, or I can't look through the lens today as I was a 14-year-old, because there's no fucking blueprint. There's no manual on how to deal with trauma, how to deal with these things that you've been through in your life, and you're kind of just going with the flow of it. And you can't like always, sure that your parents are there, but it's like you can't always rely on that, because that could get pushed back, because like they are your parents supposed to be there for you. But it's like you're in a situation where it's like they're also grieving. So it's like, how can I necessarily be selfish and be like, oh, okay, like I'm going through this and going through that? People could keep back like, well, they chose to have kids, sure, but it's like they just lost their firstborn son. So it's like, how are they supposed to give me the best answer right now, because they're freaking just up in arms right now with how their life is shaking to the core.
100%, man. And it's like, anybody who's also known you as well, like, knows how incredibly mature you hold life and you think about life, you know? And like, I just think it's fascinating, especially as a man, like how open you have always been towards emotion, towards grief, towards trauma. And I think it's really hard, because like a lot of we have tons of friends, tons of people that we know who are so like just won't go there, you know?
I think,
and like what I wanted to ask is like, just what would you say to somebody, or why is that such an important aspect to your life? And have you always been that way? Like, and I'm speaking as somebody who doesn't know you, right? Like I've obviously seen that for forever, and it's something I admire most. But it's like, why is that so important as a man to do that? Like, why should be people having more conversations and more thoughtfulness about it, and stop trying to just fucking like just push everything away, use substance, whatever.
There's two things I'll say. The first one is that if you ask if I've always been like, the answer is no. But the reason what turned it around was that no matter what I did, good or bad, I was always past judgment on. So when I kept to myself, I was at Westmount, I had a shaved head, played basketball, so I looked like Slim Shady, looked like Eminem, things like that, right? Didn't talk to people because I was so focused on playing basketball. That was when I came out and shared my story. People thought I was a douchebag for not even talking, just sticking to academics, sticking to basketball. They thought you were a douchebag, right? Now you come out and share your story. Now you're this soft beta male who's too emotional and things like that, and you're still judged and hated on.
Yeah, it's true.
I actually had one of my best friends came up to me last year. She was at a party or at just like a get together, whatever, and one of them, somehow I got brought up, right? And the person said, oh, they went to school with me, and they were actually making fun of me about my sun is shining post every day and things like that. When he goes, oh, good morning, my loves, blah, blah, that guy. Little did he know that he's talking to my best friend saying this, and she almost got in a freaking fight with him that, yo, that's my best friend, what are you talking about? I was in his wedding party, yada, yada. But it's like, I am spreading positivity every single day. And this person, I don't even know who the person was, because she was so wrapped up, she didn't even know who it was, that they're still going to talk shit about you.
It's so crazy, dude.
That is like, I don't care. I don't need empathy for that. The point of that is that no matter if you do good or bad, someone's always going to say something about you, because we have this idea of when you see someone on social media, you know who they are or you don't know who they are. There's no nuance. There's no story. And that's why I always try to be open on both sides of the spectrum, good and bad, because we have so much comparison. But it's like, again, I always have this other saying too. It's like, instead of having healthy inspiration, we have unhealthy comparison. So it's like when we see people online, it's like, why don't I look like that?
Literally.
Why am I not traveling the world? Why don't I have as much money as them? Versus like looking at like, hey, like, why don't I try and lock in for 90 days and try and make my body transform, right?
Yeah.
See what I can do within my natural limits or within my capabilities, right? You know what? Let's try and put money aside when on my paycheck so I can go on a vacation next year or a year from now, right? Because everyone's life is different, right? You're only seeing a certain aspect of their life.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know me and didn't share things, oh, Matt's traveling all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little did you know that before that, my grandma just passed away.
Yeah.
A week later, Sarah's best friend, who's a mother of 2 kids, 29 years old, passed away. And we had this thing booked for months, and we're just trying to get away and escape life for a little bit and not have to worry about the stressors of things. And that's the issue of like when you go, oh, look, they're traveling all the time. Like, little do you know, if you just, again, go through my profile, maybe read some of my captions, you get to know who I am as a person, stuff like that, right? So that took me some of those slap in the faces, whether I was doing good or bad, to be, I don't give a fuck about what you think about me.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be me, right? And I always, true to this day, probably for the last 10 years, people who know me, there's no in between. You either love me or you don't like me. And people say, oh, everyone loves you. Look, I just told you someone's talking shit about me posting the sun is shining, right?
Yeah.
So whether that's envy, whether that's just insecurity of their own self, which it could very well be. But again, that's more what I'm talking about, is that no matter what you do, someone's always going to pass judgment on you. So why am I not just going to be who I want to be?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's awesome to see, dude, because like a lot of people have that mentality of like, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks, I don't give a fuck.
But they don't live it.
But they don't live it. You live it, bro. Like you're every part of your life is fucking locked in, man. Like, and it's been super fun to see, dude. And like I was you know, I feel like I'm slowly getting there as well. Is like, you know, it takes a lot of action, man. Like it takes a lot of action and just year over year, just progression and building on that. And like, dude, literally this morning I saw this guy's physique that I'm like friends with, and I didn't know he looked like that. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. I'm like, I look like a piece of shit, dude. And it's just like, it's like, man, but you don't know you don't know how long he's been training. You don't know how regimented he is. Like,
this is what I've talked to you about in this certain aspect that we're discussing right now, is that do you want it?
Exactly.
And I've said this to you last week or 2 weeks ago. How bad do you want? Because right now, if your business, which is thriving, is killing it, and that's your number one priority, you can't compare it to someone whose fitness is their number one priority.
Exactly.
So it's like you have to make sure that when you're doing out your list of what you're important to you, it could be the business right now, your relationship second, the gym might be fourth or fifth. So you're in that scenario, your business is going to be amazing because number one, that's where your mind and body's going, and gym's going to be fourth or fifth on the list. So that's going to be fourth or fifth with your time and energy. So you can't expect to have the physique of your friend who might be, that's everything that they're doing right now, putting all their time towards it, right? If you put all your time and energy towards that, you'll be like, everyone's like, damn, I fucking want to look like Matt Ravida. So it's just like, those are those things where I'm taught, again, back to, you know, healthy inspiration versus unhealthy comparison. You can be inspired by seeing your friend. But you have to understand is that, hey, if I could put in that time and energy, or if I want to put in that time and energy, I could potentially look something similar to that, or whatever you look wants to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But also, too, before we forget that point, because you brought the whole thing about male and being a man and sharing things, it's going back to how you and myself view masculinity. So going to you now, switching roles, and I'm asking you, it's like
interview passage.
How do you define masculinity? And I don't necessarily want the Wikipedia dictionary, you know, definition, but it's like when you hear masculinity, you're probably going to think about what people think masculinity is and what you think it is. So like try to take out the bias of what people view masculinity and like, how do you view masculinity? And then I'll answer your question of why me as a male, it's been the way that I've been. Yeah.
Well, I think the first thing I thought when you said, what is your view on masculinity, is like traditional, like bigger gent beard.
Bias coming right through.
Right. Yeah. But also is a provider, right? Is a provider for the family, does make sure the household is taken care of, shit is locked down. And also provides that emotional support. Because you see, a big burly guy and he's got a little daughter, and you see how they interact. That's more important about how he interacts. Like, that's more important than how he, like, what he provides is how he interacts with his family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I think true masculinity is like knowing when to be soft and knowing when to be tough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's very similar to how I feel, because the number one for me, of course, is like protector for me of like the family. That's how I view masculinity and things like that. People around you, and my 3 cats, and also like emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So, but to dive deeper in emotional intelligence, for me, if like, I also think like men can be leaders and things like that. Like, if I as a man want to lead people around me, my friends, my family, things like that, I have to have my shit together.
It's true.
I can't be emotionally unstable, not deal with my trauma, not deal with my past, and feel I can give advice or be there for the people that need me. So it's like, a lot of men have gone through a lot of crazy shit, abuse, trauma, things like that, and don't deal with it. How am I supposed to look to you to be like, lead me? If you can't even control your own emotion, or you even control your own shit that you've been through, you haven't even dealt with the shit that you've been through.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to try and tell me how I need to live my life.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is a big one for me. And still, of course, like, the macho-ness is in there, just because I feel like that's just me personally, where it's like, I need to physically be strong so I can, again, back to the protection, protect my family and protect my future kid. Because it's like, if I can't run down the street, if some burglar comes, or I can't protect my family, that wouldn't sit right with me. And if that comes down to the cliche of what masculinity is, or what you see a man is, that's okay. That's my definition.
Yeah.
I just said the emotional aspect, and I just said also the physical aspect on how I view those things, right? And that's just anecdotally for what I want out of myself.
Yeah.
And not saying everyone has to agree with that, but that's just how I view masculinity. It's like, you have to fuse, like you said, the softness and the hardness. Because me personally, people see me as mental health Matt. But when you see me in the gym, they're like, he's a psycho. So it's like being able to bridge that. Yeah, exactly. So it's like being able to, or in between the 4 lines of basketball court, like last night was the first time I played basketball in over a decade.
Nice.
And
how are you feeling today?
A little sore, 31 years old. But Sarah's like, man, just enjoy it, go easy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, a few minutes. My cousin asked her to come out, right? Because she's in this league. She asked her to come out. And I was just, okay, I'll feel it out. But I'm just like, nah, screw this. Like, I need to get going. And then, like, things weren't working the way they used to be. I was do all these things that I couldn't do as a kid and things like that. And I was just like, I'm so competitive no matter what.
Yeah, you do
but
have that, for
I will
sure.
be that person's best friend off the court and champion everyone, things like that. That is also, like, how I feel masculinity plays into that as well. It's like, you need to be that. And, like, I remember listening to Matthew McConaughey and Chris Williamson recently on their podcast talk about how the Me Too movement and masculinity, like, the purpose of the Me Too movement, in my opinion, wasn't to remove masculinity. It was to, I feel like, give women a space so they're not taken advantage of by men, like, especially in the industry and things. That's a lot where that came from. But it's like, I feel we had shifted the pendulum so much where we're like, men just can't be quote unquote men, in quotations I'm saying that, and they wanted to. If some want to be like that, then that's okay, right? And I feel that's where it's like, we're finally shifting back to the middle, where it's like, you can have both. You can go squat, bench press, whatever, come home, be a loving family man. Like, you can have both of those, right? And I feel that's where the lines got blurred a lot over the last little bit. But, like, we're finally starting, like I said, to get back, which I think is the healthy balance that you need moving forward as, like, a man, or if you view yourself as a man, things like that, and what you want to do. Yeah,
like Sam Sulek is a good example. Like, Sam's super thoughtful.
Yeah.
Super, like really, really, really emotional. Like, you can tell he just has a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. But he's also, like, a sicko.
Yeah.
Like, to push yourself to that level it takes a lot, you know?
It's like Chris Bumstead too, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yes. He's a great,
someone like Chris's podcast.
He's a great example.
6-time straight Olympian, Mr. Olympia. In classic physique, and then has such these thoughtful answers and thoughtful retrospects of life. He's married, has a young daughter, and things like that, and all
you
that.
See him interacting with his kid. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. How has fitness, so I want to dive into stuff that people might not know that we've had the pleasure to see over the years knowing you. So I'll let you speak on your story, obviously, but talk to me about fitness, how it's changed, what you've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years, what you're trying to do now. And talk maybe like how has Billy kind of played a role? Because I think he's
I'm actually not with him anymore. By myself, I'm self-coaching myself. But
Nice.
go on, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But you were with him for 2 years, right?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, nice. But I feel like he maybe pushed your mind as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
A lot to dissect there. First, I'll talk on the coach and Billy and how having someone in your corner who's done it before helps. He allowed me to kind of take my training and my nutrition to the next level because it was something that I knew had to be done. But this goes into, I was going to also bring up about humility, is that I didn't have the humility to think that someone else was right.
Yeah.
I knew how to lift.
Yeah.
I knew how to do this. I knew how to do that, which we all think, right? But having someone else tell me, and because in this is where the transaction thing also comes into play and helps, because I am paying him, so I need to listen to him.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not going to pay someone and not listen, what the hell is the point in that?
Yeah.
What's the point in that transaction, right?
Yeah.
I'm wasting my time, wasting his time, wasting my money. So I'm going to submit to the process, show humility, right? That is how I define humility, as being open.
Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry. How you define humility?
So defining humility for me in that sense was submitting to his process, how he views things, whether they were right or wrong. What it allowed me to do is become more in tune with my body.
Yeah.
Now I learn more things. I watch more information on how the body works. I watch more things on nutrition. I watched how to lift. I really paid attention more in the gym, what actually worked for me and what didn't. And I think that's what allowed me, like I reached where I could with him to a point where now I have to be able to do this myself. Right. But I'm thankful for that process because that allowed me to start watching more YouTube videos, listening more podcasts on health and nutrition, learning that restricting yourself in your diet necessarily isn't always going to work. But if you adhere to the goals and the situation and the stipulations that you put for yourself, or what he put for me in that case, you can still have results. Right. Yep. And I feel talking to like Dr. Lane Norton and things like that and other people in the space has allowed me to like learn more in that sense. Right. So that's the Billy aspect, which has allowed me, basically it's like having a coach, right? Like that's like what he was. He was a physique coach, helped you for that. And I feel it's very important for some people to get started. The thing for me in fitness, I think I've come to this realization probably the last month that I'm very pissed off person at the world for what they've done, for what it's done to me. Like I think I'm a very pissed off, upset with the world type of person. And I think the gym has allowed me to channel that and use it as an outlet. Not many people have their outlet.
Yeah.
I feel that if I didn't have the gym, I probably would be a more angrier person, because the gym.
Yeah, and also like sports too. Growing up, like like having to channel the competitiveness and that like that testosterone as a young guy, especially like as the emotions. Like I tell Maddie all the time, I've felt more like testosterone and like craziness over the last year than I have ever, because I'm like have just been that much more routine with it. So I think I totally understand that.
As a kid, I feel it was more a tool to combat my ADHD, to be honest, to be busy, to do stuff. I like sports and I was competitive. So the competitiveness as you get older, because now I'm not playing sports anymore, I'm playing against myself in the gym. Yeah. How can I better myself? What next thing can I do? How can I improve on myself? How can I kill the next goal that I have? And I feel that has allowed me to channel my emotions and put it towards something that if I didn't have, who knows what it would look like. And people are like, what do you mean you're pissed off? I mean, like, if you want me to write a list of everything that I've either had to deal with, go through, loss, traumatic experience, things like that, it's up there. All right. In the upper echelon of people have gone through stuff by the time they're 31. And I could be back to the alcohol. I could be abusing alcohol and drugs. And on a objective outside view, people be like, I could see that happening for him. It kind of makes sense.
100%.
And they would kind of empathize and be like, damn, that sucks. But
like, but he's been through a lot.
Look through his life, right?
Yeah.
But I said, fuck that. Like, I'm going to challenge myself through physical feats. And I feel that goes along with saying that artificial challenges are so important, I think, to people like myself and people in general. is because when I'm able to accomplish these goals and these feats throughout my life, I'll be ready for whatever life throws at me.
Yeah,
because
it's true.
Life does
Yeah.
not give a shit. Like, the world does not give a shit about if you're having a good day or a bad day, and I'm going to ruin it with some news.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm at the gym, and Sarah's calling me hysterically crying, saying Jess died.
Wow.
Right? So I'm leaving the gym, going to pick her up, making sure that my pregnant wife with our first child, after we've already had a miscarriage earlier this year, is not like stressing her body so much
Yeah, wow.
that like it's gonna affect the baby.
Wow.
But at the same time, I can't say that to her because she just lost her best friend of over a decade,
Yeah.
who she's like has 2 young boys. And Sarah goes, these boys are never gonna remember their mom. And she's getting that call from the boyfriend. So I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
I gotta, for
gotta
lack
show
of a
up.
better term, man up, show up, put
Yeah.
everything to the side of how you're feeling. Doesn't matter what else is going on in your life. You literally ran 24 hours straight. You've walked 24 hours straight. You deprive yourself of food to get in a bodybuilding stage. I can do this. Like, I artificially did that. So these moments that happen in my life that I need to show up for the people in my life, I can do no problem, not even think anything about it.
Yeah.
So I'm driving down that car, picking her up.
It's really good that you can connect the dots, because it takes a certain type of person, Matt, and you are that person. But I don't think a lot of people would handle those situations as well as you do, because you can compartmentalize.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, all right, this is Sarah's moment. This is her going through an incredible loss. I can't make it about what's going on with us, meaning the baby, etc., which is like totally a logical thought. Like, but that's what I'm saying is I don't think a lot of people would have been able to have the same conversation. And that just speaks to you connecting the dots of like, all right, this is another marathon. This is another 24 hours. Let's just get through this 24 hours. And yeah, I reached out, like, I'm so deeply sorry, man. It's tragic that happened. And but a lot of like, that's not that that's life, but like, that's just,
no, but it is. And the essence
like,
of it, and it sucks to say that, but that is life. It's like my friends that died, my brother that died, my mom that died, like, people that I care about have been through some extreme abuse. Like, I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
But they did.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just life. Like, that goes down to the whole life's not fair. Mm-hmm. And it's such a blanket statement. And sometimes it comes off as like you're just being like I guess you could say you're not being empathetic to the situation. But what are you supposed to do? Because you got to say, because you're saying I can compartmentalize, not many people can be like that, but it's like, why can't other people be like that? That is the biggest question, is like, why do other people go to abusing drugs? Why other people go to abusing alcohol? Why do people go to even abusing their loved ones or people in their life because they push them away and like they can't control their emotion, things like that. Like, that is the biggest one that if we had the answer to that.
Yeah, it's like the calluses of your mind, right? Like David Goggins talks about that a lot. It's like seeing Maddie work in addictions, right? Mm-hmm. Like, has changed my view on addictions a lot. Mm-hmm. Not that I had a really fucked up view of addiction before, but I didn't really understand it as much as I feel like I do now. And it all comes from coping skills, man. Like, and I'd say the same for me. Like, I could be probably addicted to drugs, probably an alcoholic, but it's like because I went through so much stuff young, you know what I mean? And I just had to just like, all right, let's figure it out. Here's another 24 hours. And I could be a totally miserable person, but I still show up. I still have like light in my eyes. I'm still happy to be alive. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, that's why I got positive mental attitude tattooed on me. It's like, just, you have, everything is a choice, regardless of what it is, regardless good or bad. Everything's a choice, how you show up. And it's like, it's just getting better at taking those moments to be like, you do the 1, 2, 3 reset thing, like doing that and being like, okay, how do I want to react to the situation, rather than just like letting your emotions take over, or letting your ego or your fear or your anger take over. Showing up, being like, okay, how do I best show up for Sarah right now? Mm-hmm.
Think, how many people want to look themselves in the mirror and be like they need to change?
I know, it's crazy. Well, I'm even having a hard time doing that right now with you, like with me and you. Matt's, for the record, Matt's training me, so it's like I'm having a hard time with me and you, like you're just a lot harder on me than my last guy, which is good. Which is but that's a testament to like who you are as a person and where your bar is for expectation, which is good. It's just I need to figure out where I want to live in that.
But again, that comes down to.
But that's the fun part. These are all fun things we're pushing ourselves to do.
You're saying expectation. I don't have an expectation. I want you to have an expectation for yourself. That's back to what you said, looking yourself in the mirror. It's back to what I said with the list. Business is number 1, it seems right now, which you can say, which you don't, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Fitness might be 3, 4, or 5. So if that is your expectation right now, you're only going to get 3, 4, 5, 5th results out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that is where we have to be able to look ourselves and be like, okay, this is what's important to me right now, and this is what isn't. And that's where the different phases of your life will come into all this. Like, you're at a certain phase in your life right now, I'm at a different phase. So it's like, what I see and deem as important, you're not going to deem as important.
Yeah.
But I'm able to look myself in the mirror and be like, that is what I need to do. Majority of the people, I don't want to speak for other people, but some people don't want to do that. Because it's the fear, it comes down to like, it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, it's the change.
People don't want to take the risk because the outcome is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, people don't want to take a risk because the outcome is not guaranteed. Business side, I'll say, you and Troy, you said, fuck this. We want more for our lives. We enjoy this. Let's go take that risk.
Yeah.
Do you have other things in your life maybe perfect where you're not willing to take a risk on? Maybe not. But in this specific area, your business, you guys took a risk without knowing the guaranteed outcome. Knowing that you guys could go in so much debt. This could be the worst decision you ever made of your guys' life.
Yeah.
All this capital being spent on things. But if you didn't, you have to think about looking years from now. Would you have the biggest regrets of your lives by not taking that risk?
Yeah, and that's 100% agree, man. And that's why this year I decided like, okay, I'm going forward with fitness because I didn't every year, and I'll show you the photo of me last January. Every year I would be like, okay, new year, like everybody has the royal reset, right? And I'd always look at myself and be like, fuck, I didn't do it again this year. Every year I would do that. Fuck, I didn't do it. So now I'm like, I have moments where I'm like, and I've shared this with Maddie, is like, I have moments where I'm like, holy shit, like I'm actually doing it. I'm actually doing it. I'm doing the work. I'm putting the thing in, because it's like, I admire people who take care of their health and their body and their fitness. And like, I always have really enjoyed fitness. I just haven't been as dialed as I needed to be, because it was just always wasn't the main priority. And like, it's just been really fun. And I also felt at the beginning of the year, like, okay, I already feel like I don't have enough time. I'm already working, all these hours. How am I going to work? How am I going to figure out how to work in another hour or two, plus eating, plus meal prepping? How am I going to do that? I just started slow. Just the snowball started snowballing, and I'm
stacking the small W's.
Yeah, and it's like,
one.
I tell Troy all the time, dude. People like, I feel fucking so much more energy than I've ever felt ever. Like, and it's like kind of insane. Like,
because you're the busiest you've ever been in your life.
Yes, and it feels like, I don't know. Like last night, I got home at 7 p.m. Worked out. I got home at 8:30, and then worked out, made some food, went to bed. Same today. I'm gonna get home probably 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and work out, go to bed, do the same. And it's just like, but I don't feel like every day I'm like absolutely emptying the tank. It's just the fitness and the food will really expedite your energy. And I'm sure you've had that relationship over this year or the last couple of years. It's realizing you actually start to do the thing that you need to do, and you actually feel better.
Yeah, I think too is fitness related or just life related. It is just stacking those first few W's, and it's making
momentum
and seeing positive change occur. And it's back again. I keep harping on that, but back to the unhealthy comparison versus healthy inspiration. People always see the end goal on socials or in life. True. When we hear about Warren Buffett, what do we hear about? Yeah, this billionaire, all that stuff. He's giving people tips on when he was a billionaire. No, Warren, I want to know what the fuck you did when you had no money in Omaha, Nebraska, grinding to get to it. That's what we always do. We give advice from the lens of when people are the finished product. Or sorry, we take advice from people who are dishing out all these help books, all these things about when they've made it. No, I want to know what you did to get there to say you've made it, because that's what I'm at right now. That's where you guys are going to start your business. If people are giving you advice on how they make $1 million, no, how did you make $1,000 your first month? Because we're not at a place to make $1 million a month right now. So it's like finding out those first little steps, getting those W's, learning that it's a progression, is again why people don't take the risk, because the outcome is not tomorrow. The outcome is not yesterday. The people think that, okay, I'm gonna start lifting weights, I'm gonna be jacked by tomorrow. I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna make $1 million in the first month. That takes like 12, 13 years for some businesses to even get that. Some businesses are still called startups making $1 million a month because they're still not even where they want to be, and things like that. And that is where, like, even from the fitness standpoint, it's like, I'm working out now at 5:36 in the morning. If you told me that 4 years ago, I would have said you're crazy. If you go back in my stories, I start off by walking, getting up to walk in the morning for 30 minutes. So my body's getting adjusted, and that's a 4-year period. People are like, I don't want to do 4 years. But I mean, that is like where enjoying the journey, enjoying the process is, and stacking those first few W's and getting to where you want to be and things like that is going to lead to so much more. Like now it's like I can apply all this stuff that I've learned to the fitness space, through health space, now into my normal life, how I'm going to be as a father, how I'm going to be as a husband, how I'm going to show up for people in my life and things like that. Is I'm taking bits and pieces of all that I've accomplished and now using towards other aspects of my life.
And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because like, even though you don't think, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur, but you have a mindset, Matt, that is like really favorable to somebody who's starting a business or somebody who's an entrepreneur. I think a lot of people will relate to how you're thinking. Like Anthony, we brought on, he talks about, we did a YouTube video about how to develop an elite mindset. And like, it was really cool to hear that, because it's like, we look at, I told him this that day, I was like, we look at him, together, he's fit, he has a gym, but nobody talks about what you have to live, how you live in your mind to actually get there, how long you have to be, it's like
sacrifices you have to take.
And it's like Hormozi talks a lot about, like, the person doesn't win because they're talented, they win because they can endure more pain, like literally. And I'm like,
pain cave.
It's live in the pain cave. It's like the same, bro. Like that's how I feel. Like I think there's
I cut myself short. It's funny to say entrepreneur. I cut myself short on that entrepreneurial stuff, because like I say that in terms of I don't have a business, but I've always been hustling since I was a kid. Like I was selling snapbacks before Chris Brown and Tyga made them famous. I had my Honda Civic. I was selling thrifting clothes throughout my Honda Civic. I was investing my money, that every penny that I made when I was like 15 years old, 16 years old, and then as I got to college and things like that, and that's how I bought a house. So it's like I have the entrepreneurial skill sets in certain areas.
And spirit too.
It's just, exactly, I'm always grinding, always hustling in different ways and looking for, again, back to humility, even in the way you do business and invest, is like you have to be open to new ideas and being able to explore them. And then that's where like I have that mindset, but it's from where I like throw myself shade, is like I feel like I could be doing more. That's where I'm just
you're like, but it's also a testament to your accomplishments so far. Like doing an ultra, doing a bodybuilding show in the same year you did an ultra, doing it with your father-in-law, right? Getting him dialed, like, and then him taking his own journey with it, and now what you're trying to do, competing next. Like, if you started a business, it would obviously succeed. Like that's just like point blank, because it's everything else that you need to be successful. It's not that guy's just has a better idea or a better product or whatever. It's like, no, it's like he's just willing to endure more fucking pain. Like me and Troy show up every single fucking day and just try to figure it out, try to make it work month over month. We're trying to just grow and grow and grow. And it's like, that's why it's working, because it's the consistency, and that's why fitness works, is it consistency. It's not, you don't just wake up and you're just shredded. Like it takes forever, dude. Like I'm like having those moments.
That's what I'm trying to get you on, is that
those moments of like, it takes a long fucking time.
Why I harp on you for some of the things is because it's not necessarily that I want you to get on one day. It's I need you to be consistent. Give me a week.
Yeah.
Then you're like, shit, that was actually easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Now I need 2 weeks, 3 weeks, stack it up. Okay, did you backtrack a bit on week 4? That's fine. You just had 3.5 weeks good.
Yeah.
But what the issue is on consistency is that one bad half week or that one bad week doesn't snowball into 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And that's the issue with some people on their journeys and whatever aspect or whatever phase of their life is, soon as they get back on their old habits, it goes from one bad day, 2, 3, 4, 2 months, 1 year. And that is what I've learned, that like I need to nip that stuff in the butt and let it be the season that it only needs to be. What I mean by that is that after the miscarriage that Sarah had earlier this year, I'm still human. Like I had to grieve. I remember sitting in the gym the first few days and just sitting there like, fuck, like, are we not gonna be able to have a kid? Like she has to go through all these procedures and things like that. And I'm just like, damn, like, is that gonna affect fertility for a thing? Like we were even scared that I wasn't even able to be fertile or have fertility issues myself because of all these hormone issues I had after the race. It re-triggered my thyroid and things like that, and I had to take certain tests, and it's a small chance that some of the thyroidism that I was going through could actually affect future fertility. So I'm just like, damn, like, to me selfishly doing that race, to say that I fucking did it, like, affect the fact that I can't be a father, and that's all I've actually really wanted to be in life, is to be a father. And I'm like, damn, we had our chance, and now this happens. So it's like all those things happen, excuse me, and like the first 2 days after we found out, but I only let that season last 2 days, 3 days maybe. Listen to some sad songs, you know,
get it out.
But I know that if I let it snowball further than that, then that's where I get in trouble.
That's where that's what
the younger Matt used to do, and that's how I took my own life. Now I'll never do that ever again. And I had the tools and resources after years and years of practice and doing things together about that, learning about myself. So I get people, again, it takes years and things that happen like that, right? It didn't happen overnight for me. Like when I share what happened in the traumatic experience, the tragedies, the loss, I share a 5-minute post. People are like, now he's back out and doing his post. Like, shouldn't he be grieving? Like, fuck you. Like, how can you tell me how I should be grieving, right? It's like people always are good. That's what I said, back to the love me, hate me. People are always going to send opinions or view or send your post. Look, he just lost his mom and now he's working out the next day. Like, is he crazy? Is he okay? He's a loser. Like, what is he doing? He should be at home crying. It's like, based off of what? Like, what you're told society said how you're supposed to do X, Y, Z. Like, I know we're talking very specific, like, on a fitness and business and a loss and things like that, but it applies to anything. I mean, those 3 things are actually pretty major of a normal person's life: is tragedy, loss, fitness, things like that, business. So, like, it does apply to a lot of people, but it's just like, like, people are always going to have outside noise about, people are going to tell me how to raise my child in 3 months.
I know. It's
right?
Great. Yeah.
Like, they're going to, let's say my parents, well, my dad, and morbid joke. If you know me, I sometimes like to make morbidity jokes. We almost went an hour without that happening, but you know, the time presented itself. So I'm gonna have opinions from Sarah's family, Sarah's aunts, Sarah's uncles, my family. Of like, oh, you shouldn't hold him like that. I'm like, fuck. Like, I had a big neck when I was a kid. He's got to learn how to have a strong neck. What are you talking about? Look who his dad is. Like, come on. Right? Obviously, I'm half joking, guys. I'm going to take care of my kid. No matter, I talk to shit. I'm the biggest suck there is. Everyone knows that. But it's just like, it's just the joke I'm just saying is that, like, just always going to have judgment. People are always going to look at you. They're always going to say their piece. And you just have to know, when is that battle worth fighting? You got to stand your ground, hold your boundaries. At the same time, it's like, learn one in, one out the year. One in 1 year, out the other, right? And it's like, but that is a lot easier said than done, right? So it's like you seeing stuff online while you're comparing yourself to them. It's like, it's easier just to look at it and not think about it. But that is where we have to train our mind to be stronger in that sense. Yeah,
exactly. And like, it's a testament to like you and Sarah as a couple, right? Like, and as a kind of a unit, like, and that's just like coming back to, you know, if you guys are dialed, you guys are feeling like you're doing the right thing. You know, her being a nurse, obviously she's going to have a lot of knowledge around what she should do. And just like staying dialed as a unit. And I think that's like really important to what you're saying. 'Cause it's true. Like, a lot of people feel, dude, I had people coming out to me in Kentucky when I was there, like last, talking to me about their relationships and their marriages and how they're falling apart. And I don't know what to do. I want to leave my husband. I'm like,
I'm just trying to enjoy my concert, buddy.
I'm just a guy from Canada, man. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy my concert.
But I think because like, you know, you're so open, people just like want to gravitate and just give you advice and just like fucking, oh, this is what you should do. It's like, that's where, like I said, coming back to the unit thing, just like, just staying connected, and you guys have a really good head on your shoulders, both of you. Like,
it's my person, man.
Yeah. And just knowing that, like, fucking whatever else happens, at least we have each other and we have the boy to be yet born.
Yeah, like that's gonna
Did you guys pick names yet?
Not yet. We had a lot of cute girl names. We don't have many boy names when we were thinking about names, things like that. So it's gonna be interesting. I think like that chapter.
I'm so jealous, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if I could guarantee I would have a son, I would have a kid probably now.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's like,
You should be happy about any child you get. Okay.
it's true.
But
having a boy as a first kid probably be so fun.
Yeah, little junior is gonna be nice. I think I'm scared. I'm excited. I'm anxious. There's so many ways that I feel as you mature, you see how you were parented.
Yeah.
You see things in relationships as a child and parents or your friends, family, or things like that, of like things that you may or may not want to do. You're never gonna be perfect, but it's like you learn these things, right? It's like I'm so aware and observant, and I absorb things that are going on around me, how parenting, how people are, and things like that. And it's like, obviously, you have this picture perfect plan of how you think you want to parent. It's gonna change. I understand that, but it's like that's what this next chapter for me is gonna be like, because I'm just like, my life's gonna change so much. Like, no more 3 hours in the gym on a Saturday morning with Dave, my father-in-law, for context. So it's like that's gonna change, but it's like I know
it's gonna be maybe an hour and then 2 hours with the baby and Dave. Yeah,
exactly. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's exciting, and it's just now I'm just working out for two. You know, I gotta protect that little man. So it's like everything changes differently. Like every decision I make now is like with them, meaning my wife Sarah and him in mind, and it's gonna be something that I've just always wanted. So it's gonna be fun, and now I get to do this and yell and blurb to him about like life and platitudes and cliches that everyone hates and loves to hear. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, sweet, exciting. What's next for you, Matt? What's going on next?
Besides being a dad.
Yeah, that's obviously
the biggest.
That's probably the one that's consuming a lot of your brain right now.
Yeah, for sure. That's all my mental bandwidth is going towards being a father for the first time and figuring out what that looks like. And then I think I want to do some type of endurance goal. I want to do another 24 or 40. It's 48. I can't say that out loud. Fuck. But it's like something of that magnitude.
Did you enjoy that? Like, did you?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I got way more out of endurance goals, the race, the walk, than I did the bodybuilding show.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah, because there is something to be said about, like, again, when I did a 20K hike, right? Like, when I mentally thought, okay,
yeah,
I gotta do it. And then you finish it, you're like, holy shit, I actually did that.
Yeah.
Like, that is the most incredible feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? Like,
it sucks. But like you got to enjoy the suck for a long time.
Yeah.
And say you did it. That's why the bodybuilding show, it fucking was miserable. But you're on there first. You're on the stage for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like that 24-hour race, was it like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life? Probably is. But I got to do it for 24 short hours.
Yeah.
I trained 7 months for 24 hours. The other one, I deprived myself of food, and I lost all this muscle mass that I just worked so hard to get for 30 seconds on stage, and I came like tied for last place because I had no plan to do this until 8 weeks before.
Yeah.
So it's just like all that stuff. Maybe I have a score and thing I tell myself I'll never be on stage again, which is probably true. But the endurance goals are ones that like, hey, I can do until my legs start falling off. And I got way more enjoyment out of them, right? It's a different type of season, right? It takes a lot more training, things like that to get up there, but I enjoy that stuff.
So it's not, I thought it was going to be a show next.
No,
So
definitely not.
endurance
Like, see,
next.
and that's, I mean, everyone's like, Matt, like, you're bulking up and getting 35 pounds. Like, you have to be doing it for a show. I'm like, no, I love the gym more. I hate running. That's the way I understand. I hate running. I love the gym. I hated the bodybuilding show. I love the endurance races and goals. Like, it's funny how your mind is wired like that.
Yeah.
But it's just how I've been wired, and it just comes down to just what you want to get out of life. And that's where, like, you talk about the Goggins, and you talked about like the artificial challenges that I've done in my life. And by artificial challenges, I mean like the races and the bodybuilding show, right?
Purposely putting yourself through something.
Because that's not life. I mean, it's a life, but like, you're choosing to do those, right? Like the things that I can control, that whether I want to do that. I can't control loss. Can't control tragedy.
It's kind of like I don't know if Joe Rogan talked about this or somebody talked about this idea of like, maybe it was Anthony. It was like somebody talked about the idea of like, you should continue to do things that challenge you, that really push you. Like it's just Jesse Ickler. He talks about doing one scary thing a year, making that like your thing. Like do one scary thing a year. And I've thought about that concept a lot, and that like influenced.
So what'd you do this year that was scary? Exactly. You got 3 months.
Maybe
2 months actually.
The Office was scary. Getting into a commitment with The Office, and yeah, just like.
So is the guy you're referencing talking about a physical crazy goal?
Both. He's an ultra marathoner.
Okay,
like
so,
he's a big run guy, but he talks about
you
like.
You are right. The entrepreneurial side, that is scary. To pay rent here. Is it worthwhile? Are you getting money out of it?
Yeah.
Are you getting return on your investment?
Yeah, and
That's
also
scary.
like, can we afford it month to month? Because it's up and down with shit. Like, I don't know. I have to think about what. I'm sure there's stuff for sure. Like, yeah, going back to the U.S. Going back to Kentucky. I was scared to do that again. Going by myself, thinking it wasn't gonna be as fun, or it was gonna be whatever. But I had such a good time, and like, so like I think that's what really influenced me to do that trip that I did a couple years ago. I want to continue to do traveling like that style as well, and getting into fitness, that definitely scared me. Like hiring a trainer, paying for a trainer, working with you, I was like, fuck, I'm terrified of this still. Yeah. But it's like there's definitely been things. So I think I understand where that comes from, because it's like you want to continue to push yourself and challenge yourself, even though you have a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Outside of your regular
I think
life.
like Goggins said that too. It's like, it's proof. Like you're stacking all these things on your resume, like all these physical, like I keep saying that, all these physical artificial challenges, and it's proof positive to yourself that like you can almost conquer anything.
Yeah.
Like I've ran 24 hours straight, sleep deprived. I walked 24 hours straight, sleep deprived. So it's like, is raising a kid going to be way tougher? Hell yeah. Am I going to be sleep deprived? Hell yeah. But I've done physical crazy shit like this, and I'm like, you have to look back into those demons when they come out, like, I have to get up again. Like, Sarah, I'll take it. I've done this. I can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is a few hours of sleep? Like, I chose the control and uncontrolled areas. I chose to have a kid.
Yeah.
I can't complain to no one about lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Sure, you can, because for lack of better of a conversation.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I can't, like, go to, oh my God.
Make that your personality.
Oh, like, I shouldn't have had a kid because I had to get up at night, or I have so much money. I'm like, okay, then why did you choose to have a kid? Because people say that to me already. I'm like,
oh man, yeah.
Then why did you choose it? I'm choosing to have a kid. I know it's going to be the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm not going to go complain to people years later because you shouldn't have kids.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have that decision, I know we're bringing off topic here, but it's like, I know that if I'm 60 and didn't have kids, I would have the biggest regret of my life.
Yeah.
Some people are looking at the lens right now. Is it a sacrifice in terms of me and Sarah having alone time, being able to be by ourselves, things like that? Sacrifice. Again, lack of a better term, but it is. It is a sacrifice. You're sacrificing your well-being, your living, going on trips freely. I could go tomorrow. We go on a trip if we want to, right? I'm sacrificing those things because I also want to do this. I'm making known that it's a sacrifice, but I'm making this sacrifice. I want to do this.
Yeah.
So when I'm choosing to do all these things, I can't go and complain and be like, well, shouldn't have done that.
I know,
because
right?
I know that right now it's going to be tough. That's kind of sorry. I went off kilter there, but my point was that like when I'm 60, I'd have regret.
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking at the view right now. It's going to be so hard, but you have to try and put yourself in the future being like, if I don't choose to have a kid because right now it's going to be tough, which it is, will I have regrets? And a lot of people who are on the fence of leaning towards having kids, but like, oh, it's too tough right now, are going to think like that. If you don't want to have kids at all, respectable, then you're not going to think like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's trying to find that basis where you want to be present to enjoy your life, but you do have to think about the future a bit, where like, if I don't make this sacrifice now, or if I don't make this change now or do this thing now, how am I going to look like? How's it going to look years from now, and how am I going to feel about it?
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah. And that's, again, speaking of the maturity, man, because like a lot of, I make that joke all the time to my mom. I'm like, I didn't fucking choose to be here.
Yeah,
you made that choice, not me.
I know.
And it's like, it's morbid, but it's funny, right? Like, but a lot of parents, like, I hear it all the fucking time, dude. Like, especially
so expensive. It's this,
bitching. It's like, dude, like,
you want kids then? because society.
You guys knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing. You were having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
So it's good that you mentioned that, man.
Yeah. I think also too, before I end off some things for you, because I'm not sure what time you have, but it's like the last thing that I think I want to say for some people, I think is very important, whether it's personal, if you're in a relationship, in your relationship, for you guys and business partner, is what I started doing the last few years. At the end of the year, is you have a year in review about yourself personally, a year in review about your relationship, a year in review about your business relationship, and then what is your future goals as an individual, in a relationship, as a business together for the next year. And then you write that down somewhere, you look back on it, because what's helped with me is like, okay, what do I want to do individually? What goals do I have for next year?
Yeah.
Not you're gonna have, and then you kind of tier it, right? Where it's like, what is manageable, what is like a really advantageous goal, and what are some of those ones that you can work out throughout the year.
Yeah.
Right. And the same through your relationship, because I feel like that's made Sarah and me stronger, because it's like, what are we aligning on? What do we want to do together? What do we want to do personally? How can we support each other in that? How can we figure out other things? I think that sets you up for the new year. The new year ahead.
It's true. It's a really great way to look at it, Matt, because then you guys are pushing together as a unit.
Yes.
Pushing together as a team.
And then she also knows.
You can support her. She can support you.
Our individual goals are.
Exactly.
So if like when I had the ultra plan, when I had the bodybuilding show planned, it's like those bodybuilding show wasn't in there. So that was kind of a mid-year. But what the ultra was planned, because we knew my mom was going to die the prior year. So it was going into that, was planning for that. So that's to be that phase of my life where I'm sacrificing time with Sarah. I'm sacrificing relationship stuff with Sarah because so much time going to training because I want to get this goal. But if she's aware of what I'm on to do or what I want to do, we're on the same page.
Yeah, she can
right.
support
It's like
you.
I think it's super important. It's just like you guys two.
Shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, she's my person. So it's like also you two as a business. It's like Troy might see something differently than you.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't communicate it because he's too scared to tell you, or you're too scared to tell him, it's like knowing that, hey, let's go sit down for some food.
Yeah.
And this is the open space to like, hey, what are your goals? What are mine? What do we do good individually? What do we not do good individually? Things like that, where it's like it creates that dialogue where it's almost forced communication, because I feel like we lack a lot of communication with ourselves, with our partners, with people in our lives, family, friends, and of course, business partners, right? So it's like, that I feel is like a big takeaway I want people to also work on, because that's kind of, again, back into stacking the W's, right?
Yeah,
where it's like,
true.
Start walking, and then walking will turn to running, and then running will turn into lifting, and then lifting will turn into changing diapers for me. So it's like that, all those things is like, now you can do all that in the trajectory of your life and the progression that you go through.
Yeah, that's a great point, Matt. Yeah, I like it there, man. We can, anything else you want to touch on?
Sounds breaking your mic. Just find the balance between giving yourself grace, but also pushing yourself towards new limits.
Yeah.
I feel is that we have over glorified balance in a way, where it's the point where we're not learning or don't know how or don't want to push ourselves.
Yeah.
You and Troy have seen me firsthand physically how much I've had to push myself to complete that goal. I could barely get up. You guys were filming, but like Sarah and Dave, Victoria, my running coach, had to lift me up to go. Did I finish it? Yeah, but like if you saw me, you're like, there's no way you could do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the same thing on any other aspect of your life. It's like you have to have the balance to give yourself grace in terms of, okay, maybe I need a rest day. Damn, that was a good job. We just closed a $10,000 client. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not satisfied with that.
Yeah.
So it's find that balance. Oh, it's all about work-life balance, which I agree with. You do need work-life balance, but we got to stop shifting all the way to the other end of this pendulum, where it's like, am I really tired?
Where the work actually stops happening.
Yeah, am I really tired, or am I just convincing myself I'm tired so I don't have to go to the gym today?
Exactly.
So I don't have to make that phone call to that client.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things where it's like, what you want me to kind of take away from is that you have to be able to make sure you're pushing your limits at the same time as you're also trying to give yourself grace and find that balance that we've also been kind of harping on lately, right? Because
exactly.
Don't think many people in this world have ever pushed themselves to certain limits that the 1% you could say have.
Yeah.
And that's why we see those people who are billionaires. That's why you see these people who are running ultra marathons like it's nothing. They're willing to get into that pain cave we discussed earlier and fucking push through it and run through it.
Yeah.
Like, you think at 16 hours, I was going to give up. Like I said on the documentary you guys made for me, I said that was the closest time in my life that I felt I was actually going to give up.
Yeah.
16 hours in, and Sarah's at the top of the hill, like, you trained 7 months for this. Come on. And Sarah doesn't talk, right? And she said it nicely. I'm saying in the scrying, in the little mean voice. But she goes, you come on, you've trained 7 months for this, right?
Yeah.
But in my head, I internalize is that you fucking trained 7 months for this. Like,
Yeah.
you don't waste 7 months of your time, money,
Yeah.
time. Like, you
Yeah.
can't have Matt and Troy and their girlfriends come up here for nothing. You
Yeah.
got to finish this thing, right?
Yeah.
You're making a documentary. You have to finish the documentary.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you really can actually push yourself
That's
further
so
than what you
fucking
think.
awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, dude. Like, it is, like, it's just having that mental conversation. It's like, oh, I shouldn't. Like, last night I got home late. I had to go to the grocery store and then I had to come home. And I was like, oh, I was home late. I was like, fuck, and they're late. I thought I was going to be home early. I was like, oh, I could go to the gym tomorrow. And I was like, no, I actually don't have time tomorrow. I literally don't have time tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, fucking go. Even just see how you feel.
Something's better than nothing. I
That's
always
how
told you that. I'm not telling you that you have to be 1,000% intensity
Exactly.
balls to the walls.
Yeah.
But getting yourself into comes back to the C word, which is
Yeah. Consistency.
there you go.
Yeah.
So it's just like if you're in there,
Yeah.
you're in there.
And that's how it starts, man. Okay, I'll walk on the treadmill, I warm up, and I'm like, okay, I feel awake again. I have the energy again. And then I start going into it. And then it's always the first exercise for me. Once I reach that push that I'm pushing my heart on the first exercise, and then the rest I can maintain that.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of people just let their goals die with that thought. Oh, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do it. It's like, just go. Just start. And then see how you feel. If you still feel like shit, maybe go back home.
Yeah.
But if you don't, continue.
And that's how you apply it to your business. It's like,
Yeah.
Troy and me, man, we've been rejected 13,000 times on LinkedIn right now. But that 13,000 in one time might be like the 100,000 a month retainer that you guys get.
Yeah.
And if you just don't keep going, no one's going to pay your bills. No one's going to feel sorry for you either.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit about you except for yourself.
Yeah.
And in this case, your business partner, right? So it's like, if you guys aren't out there grinding, no one's going to do it for you.
I know, it's crazy.
Right? And it's like, you guys have to get up every day and make these cold calls. Sometimes that may seem awkward and uncomfortable, but it's like, it wouldn't have brought you to where we are today in this studio, in this little space that you're renting out, and you're having clients come through, you're having a podcast, things like that, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to be seen as someone who's done all these crazy feats, or someone that people look up to for advice, or someone that someone reaches out to, if it wasn't for all the shit that I pushed myself through, right? For overcoming all these things. And I think that's what it is, whereas we are seeing it now. So from the confidence that you're gaining in your business is where I need you to be in the gym. And I think it'll come, but again, not to make it, again, but we're wrapping that present, putting that bow on it, is that when you see the gains in the gym, when you see the money flowing in the business, right? When you see your relationship getting better, like, I want more of this. I want to be in the gym more. I want more fucking clients. You know, I love my wife, which I fucking do. I want to be around her more and more. Like, I want to do stuff with her.
Yeah.
So it's like all these things tie in simultaneously that we just don't even realize. We don't realize that it's like
It's domino effect.
by me getting up early and working out at the gym, I have more time for my wife. By me getting up early and working out, going for a walk, I'm going to have more time for my kid in the future. I'm going to set an example for him of how to have a healthy lifestyle while still getting after, while still being mom and dad, while still having to work and all these things like that, right? And also to show other people as well online, because I share my stuff just so you guys share your things online. So all this stuff comes together. It's like having a healthy lifestyle in so many different aspects, not just necessarily fitness.
Yep.
It's your business. It's your work. It's all these things that you're looking at, your relationship, all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree, Matthew. It's always good to talk to you, man. Fuck.
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Matty.
Thank you.
Much love.
Yeah.
Much love.